We are ready to go. De Los Santos, Smith, and Mitchell, a trio of left-handed bats to face Villafana here in the top of the first inning. Nielsen Buten playing shortstop tonight in place of Rafael Torres. Everything else very similar to last night for Daytona. The first offering of the ball game from Villafana misses just low, and we are underway. Villafana will fill up the zone with a lot of intent. He does not really walk batters at all. The 1-0 is lined out to right field for a base hit. Lantigua cuts it off and gets it in quickly. It's a leadoff single on the second pitch of the ballgame for Sebastian De Los Santos. De Los Santos, a young switch hitter that was impressive last night at the top of this lineup. And with an early base knock here this evening, Braden Smith batting in the 2-hole with the no batting gloves look once again tonight. Both managers rolling with a pretty similar 9 here tonight. The first pitch from Villafana, swing and a miss on a nice breaking ball. It'll be fastball, slider, and changeup for Villafana this evening. The heater right around 94, 95. He can run it up to 97, 98 at the high even. The infield's a pull. The 0-1 is outside. The slider will be in the low 80s to mid 80s for Villafana. Changeup around 86. De Los Santos, the runner at first base. Smith, the batter. The count 1-1. The pitch from Villafana is lifted out of play. Foul off the third base side. Belly Buster Wednesday this evening at the Jack. Another pretty nice crowd on hand. Had right about 1,200 last night for Silver Slugger Tuesday. We do have grand reopening weekend coming up this weekend. Excited for you to join us. A long hold. The 1-2 is grounded back up the middle. Could be 2. Moon over to second for 1. Buten to first, and it's in the dirt. Doucette can't come up with it. It goes in and out of his glove, but the lead runner is retired, and De Los Santos and Braden Smith is now aboard at first base. Villafana gets his first out of the ballgame. Buten threw it just a little bit low to first. If Doucette was able to pick it cleanly, it could have been a double play, would have been a bang-bang play at the bag. But Smith does run very well. And now Ryan Mitchell will bat from the left side with a runner at first and 1 out. The first offering from Villafana, swing and a miss. A nice changeup at the top of the zone. Mitchell did not look extremely comfortable at the plate last night. He went 0 for 4, had 3 strikeouts. The infield still looking for a double play ball. The pitch from Villafana is on the outside corner and a called strike. Jacob Gorman calling balls and strikes this evening. Gabriel Bayonne, the umpire, on the bases. Villafana steps off. Davey did start last week at Bradenton, went 5 strong innings. Did give up 4 runs, but not a lot of loud contact. The 0-2 is a jam shot, foul, and back out of play behind home.
Palm Beach overall on the season, 43-39. They have taken 5 of the 7 games between these two clubs to begin the year.
It was 5 of 6 in Palm Beach in the middle of May. The count 0-2. A big lead at first. There goes the runner. The pitch misses outside. No throw to second from Dylan King. Smith got a massive jump off first base. He was running before Villafana even moved towards home. It's an easy stolen base. The 23rd on the year for Braden Smith. He has only been caught 4 times. A single would likely score him. Villafana looking for a strikeout. The count 1-2 on Ryan Mitchell. The pitch on the way. It is way up and in. King was able to get to it with his backhand. His mask did fly off in the process. And Villafana is going to get a second to reassess the buttons on his jersey. That is something that we have seen from a couple pitchers over the last week. Luke Hayden, namely one of them. He was promoted back to Dayton. Big lead at second. The 2-2 is lined out to right field. It drops in for a base hit. A long run for Lantigua. He's able to cut it off. Mitchell pushing for second. The throw from Lantigua is late, but Mitchell overslides the bag, and Buten applies the tag. Mitchell out. Smith scores from second. It is 1-0 Palm Beach in the top of the first inning. But a consolation prize is a second out for Davey Villafana. Mitchell was in safely at second and then overslid the bag, and Boutin did a nice job holding the tag on him for the out. So now 2 outs with nobody on here in the top of the first inning for Yordaline Pena. The first pitch from Villafana is a called strike with the slider on the outside corner. Pena did not play in last night's ball game, but he is having a terrific year, hitting .264 with 11 homers. The pitch from Villafana, a swing and a miss. Pena late on 96 at the top of the strike zone, and the count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Villafana working efficiently. The 0-2 is a jam shot, looping line drive out towards shortstop, and Cano will cut it off and make the catch for the third out of the inning. Villafana works around a little bit of traffic, does give up a run here in the top of the first inning, and the Tortugas will now face Brian Holiday with a 1-0 deficit. He will face Bernard Moon to lead off the ball game here in the home first. The first offering from Holiday to Moon misses low. Fastball is going to be in the low 90s for Brian Holiday. He does mix in just about every kind of pitch that you could imagine for a starter. The 1-0 to Moon is on the outer corner and a called strike. That was a good ball and a half off. Bernard definitely disagreed, but the catcher Burge was set up way out there. Here's the stretch in the 1-1. A line drive out towards shallow center. A long run in for Mitchell. He's going to have to play it on a hop. It's a leadoff single for Bernard Moon, the first hit of the ball game for the Tortugas. Moon has just been red hot ever since moving to the leadoff spot in the lineup. He had 2 more doubles last night and added a single for a 3-hit night. He leads the Florida State League in both doubles and extra base hits. And Jalen Hairston, riding an 8-game on-base streak, is now the batter from the left side. Holiday out of the stretch for the first time today. The first pitch to Hairston is outside for a ball. Hairston continuing to swing a red-hot bat as well. The top 4 batters in the lineup for Daytona last night all had multiple hits. Ricky going with the same 4 at the top tonight. The 1-0 is upstairs. A nice leave by Hairston. Hairston was 2 for 5 last night, had 2 singles, scored a run. His average has ballooned up to now .282 on the year. 13 of his last 34 to begin the second half of the season. Hairston in the driver's seat. The 2-0 is popped up in the infield, right side. Smith on the cut of the outfield grass. He settles under it and makes the catch out in shallow right center for the first out of the inning. Now 1 away for Brian Holiday. Holiday missed all of last season after being drafted in 2024 with Tommy John surgery. Signed for $800,000 in the 3rd round out of Oklahoma State University and has had a good start to his professional career. In 6 outings, he has a 5.18 ERA. Here's Arnaldo Lantigua, red-hot bat. First pitch from Holiday on the outside corner with a heater at 92. An 0-1 record on the year for Holiday. 22 strikeouts across 24 and a third innings. Only 5 walks. He rarely walks batters, as does Villafana. A long hold. The 0-1 is lined deep out to right field. Pena tracking it. He settles under it and makes the catch. Some loud contact from Lantigua, but the yard holds it. And there's 2 outs for Brian Holiday here in the first. And here is Ty Doucette. Nobody has been able to get this guy out in the second half of the season. He leads the league in batting average in the second half, hitting .407, as well as home runs with 5 homers in back-to-back games. The first pitch to Doucette, a swing and a miss. In the second half, Doucette with an OPS of .1241. He has 22 base hits. An on-base percentage of exactly .500. The count 0-1. The pitch to Doucette is fouled off. Well, Doucette likely going to get a lot of off-speed tonight after his 4-hit career-high performance last night, but each of his first 3 hits in last night's ballgame were on sliders, and he told me earlier today that's how he knew he was going to get a first-pitch fastball in his 4th AB, where he went deep, 452 feet. Holiday sets the 0-2. Swing and a miss. An impressive first inning for Brian Holiday. Able to strand Moon over at first after a leadoff single. Thanks to everyone that is tuned in here on MILB TV, the Bally Sports Live app, and the Daytona Tortugas radio network for coverage of all 132 Tortugas games this season. This is game number 82 on the year, and Daytona with a victory tonight would have a chance to be in first place for the first time since they were 1-0 back on April 2nd, which seems like so long ago. This is such a marathon of a season that we are over halfway through at this point. The All-Star break will be next week, beginning on Monday all the way through Thursday. Here's the first offering from Villafana to Matthew Miura. It's a called strike on the outside corner. So all of Major and Minor League Baseball will have Monday through Thursday off next week. We'll be back here at home after that for a 3-game set. The 0-1 from Villafana is lifted in the air down the first base line, hooking towards the corner, and Lantigua makes the catch on the run. He braces himself on the sidewall, caught it right on top of the foul line, and it's 1 up and 1 down for Davey Villafana to begin the second inning. We'll be back home for a 3-game set with the Jupiter Hammerheads next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I know that it seems like Daytona is always playing Jupiter, which is true. That will be the 22nd through 24th meetings of the season. First pitch swinging. Mejia grounds one through the right side of the infield and out into right for a base hit. It's a 1-out single, and Palm Beach with a base runner here in the second. It is quite true that Daytona and Jupiter have almost only played each other to this point of the year. 21 of their first 63 were head-to-head. But after next weekend, that is the last that those two teams will see of each other. We do still have some more games with Palm Beach, which will be increasingly consequential throughout the rest of the year. Chase Heath, the batter, with 1 out. First pitch from Villafana, a called strike. Nice change up at the top of the zone from Davey. Heath hitting .211 on the season, does have 6 homers. The 0-1, a fastball just inside off the plate. A nice evening here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark, right about 87 degrees and humid at first pitch with 7-mile-an-hour winds blowing out towards left center field. The 1-1 is way outside. King keeps it in front. 76% humidity, 9-mile-an-hour winds coming out of the southeast at first pitch this evening. The infield at double play depth, shifted just slightly to pull. The pitch from Villafana, swing and a miss. Heath chases that nasty changeup once again, and the count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mejia does have pretty good speed over at first base. Villafana sets at the belt. The pitch on the way. It is fouled in the batter's box. Palm Beach has seen Villafana once this season. That was back on the 17th of May. The Cardinals beat the Tortugas 6-2 in that ball game. Villafana went 4 innings, gave up 4 runs, had 4 strikeouts. The 2-2 is down in the dirt, and the count now full. Villafana comes into tonight with a 2-5 record, a 3.92 ERA, 51 strikeouts to only 14 walks across over 57 innings. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. A huge strikeout for Davey Villafana. He goes with the high heater, and there's now 2 outs. First strikeout of the ball game for Davey Villafana. He did punch out a career-high 8 2 weeks ago. That was against Lakeland here at home, where he went 5 2/3 and only gave up 1 earned run with 8 Ks. It's now Alex Burge, the left-handed hitting catcher, with 2 outs. First pitch swinging and missing on a nasty breaking ball from Villafana. Burge did not play in last night's game. This is his series debut. Comes out of Cal Berkeley, an undrafted free agent that signed with the Cardinals. Villafana sets and delivers. Misses high. Fastball at 95 miles an hour. Burge playing in his 34th game of the year, comes in hitting a .177, but a little bit better during the second half of the season. The 1-1 is outside. It misses for a ball. Villafana began this season coming out of the bullpen for Ricky and the Tortugas. And he's been a little bit better coming out of the bullpen than he has in the starter role. His ERA out of the pen is 0.57. Very impressive. 2 balls and a strike. The pitch from Villafana is way inside. Off the plate, Burge has to back out of the way of it. And the count now 3 balls and a strike. Villafana does rarely walk batters, trying not to fall into that trap here against Burge. The 3-1 is on the outside corner and a called strike. Villafana with the changeup, and the count is now full. The runner Mejia will be in motion from first base. Doucette is now going to move behind him. They'll let him have a free run at it. The infield will throw across. Runner goes. The 3-2 off the end of the bat. Slowly tapped out back to Villafana. He will run it over to first base and underhand toss to the bag for the 3rd out of the inning. Davey Villafana able to work around a 1-out single. I will have a substitute this weekend. I'll be on the call with you tomorrow and then have a little bit of an early all-star break. Here's the first offering to Kyle Henley. He squares to bunt and fouls it back into the screen behind home plate. You'll be in very capable hands. My guy Kenny Shearlinger will be on the call Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to wrap up the first. Well, we're already halfway through, but to get you to the all-star break, here's the pitch to Henley. It misses, a touch outside. Brian Holiday with some very interesting mechanics. Has kind of a funky leg lift and is very deceptive with it. Here's the 1-1. It misses inside. Holiday brings his front foot up to probably about his belt buckle, and he kind of pumps his hands with it as he does so to get his arm going. The 2-1 to Henley is grounded softly down the third baseline. This could work. It's a bare hand by Mejia. No play at first. Henley runs it out. An infield single for the fastest man in Florida begins the second inning for the Tortugas. Well, you can't really play deep at third base against Kyle Henley because anything in that vicinity is an infield single. He has proved that throughout the year, leading the Tortugas in base hits. And he now has another to begin the second inning. Drew Davies is doing something very special right now. He is in rarefied company as far as Tortugas franchise history goes, currently riding a 21-game on-base streak. Holiday sets at the belt with a runner on first. The pitch to Davies is inside. Davies, during the second half of the year, hitting .245, hitting .250, or rather hitting .273, hitting .260 overall. Has hits in 9 straight games and has reached in 21 consecutive. The 1-0 is line foul down the third base line. Davies is about 5 games away from being on the Tortugas franchise record leaderboard for on-base streak. He is doing something special, the second longest current on-base streak in the Florida State League. Henley, the runner at first, with nobody out here in the home second. It's 1-0 Cardinals. The pitch to Davies is outside. A nice leave from the Aussie, and the count now 2 balls and a strike. Davies did have the night off last night against a left-handed starter in Cade Crossland, who had been one of the best in the Florida State League, but the Tortugas chased him after just 1 inning. The 2-1 to Davies, a breaking ball at the knees, and a called strike. Henley, of course, with terrific speed over at first base. 24 bags this season. The 2-2, there goes Henley, a swing and a miss. The throw down to second is high. Henley dives in safely. His 25th stolen base of the season. Daytona is able to stay out of the strike him out, throw him out double play. It is a strikeout, the second of the ball game for Brian Holiday. And there is now one out, but the Tortugas with a runner in scoring position. Daytona did also have a roster transaction earlier today to report to you. We had seen Antoine Valencia earlier this season. He is now back with the ball club. First pitch to Ichiro Kano at the knees, a called strike. Valencia is right back wearing his number 25, which he vacated a few weeks ago, being sent back to the Complex League. But that does mean that Pablo Nunez has been sent back to the Complex League. So no more Nunez, but Valencia back with Daytona. The 0-1. On the inside corner, called strike. Valencia, kind of a utility infielder, can really play all 7 spots besides pitcher and catcher. Probably would never see him at first base, but really anywhere else is realistic. The count 0-2, the pitch to Cano. Breaking ball, misses down in the dirt. Nunez did do a nice job with the Tortugas. Reached base at a very high rate, drew a lot of walks, but does have some traffic in front of him as far as the outfielders go. Holiday sets at the belt. Here's the pitch to Cano. Strike 3 called. Cano knew it. Nice fastball on the inside corner. It's back-to-back punch-outs for Brian Holiday. And there's now 2 outs here in the second inning. And now Nielsen Buten, the batter for Daytona. He had a career-high 3 base hits last night. That is the 9th time that he has done that in his career. He is now hitting at .279 on the season. .296 in the second half. Here's the first offering from Holiday. It misses, a touch low. Buten playing in his 26th game with the Tortugas this season. 8 for his last 27 with a double and 4 stolen bases to begin the second half of the year. He is playing shortstop in place of Rafael Torres tonight. The pitch from Holiday, a check swing, appeal out to second. But Gabriel Bayonne does say that Buten was able to check his swing. A single would score Henley from second base, of course. Daytona trying to answer the lone run of the ball game, which the Cardinals were able to push across on the top of the first inning. A look out to second, the pitch on the way. Breaking ball outside, and the count now 3-0 on a Nielsen Buten. Buten, not so much of a power hitter, but he did go yard during BP today and told me that there could be some more of that tonight. The 3-0. Called strike at the top of the zone. I had commented on Buten's power, saying, oh, you must have hit the weight room today. He said, one, that he did hit the weight room today, big team lift this morning, but he also said he was going to hit 2 homers tonight, so we'll see. The 3-1. Is outside. It pops out of Burge's glove, and Henley will take third. On ball 4 as Buten will head down to first. Henley with some heads-up base running, and the Tortugas now with runners on the corners and 2 outs. And now this is a very interesting storyline. Dylan King looking for a bit of revenge against Brian Holiday. These 2 guys are former Big 12 foes. King from UCF, Holiday from Oklahoma State. The first pitch to King, a swing and a miss. King faced Brian Holiday in the 2024 season. It was Holiday's only season at Oklahoma State, and he went high and inside with a fastball. King swung on it, and it broke King's hamate bone in his hand. The 0-1. Is fouled off the third base side. The count 0-2. So Holiday has quite literally injured Dylan King 2 years ago. Broke the hamate bone, which is at the very bottom of your hand, kind of connects your pinky to your wrist, and is a very common baseball injury. 2 on with 2 out. The 0-2, runner goes, a swing and a soft line drive out toward shallow right field. It drops in for a base hit. Bhutan hustling into third. Henley scores on the play. And the Tortugas tied at 1-1 on an RBI single from Dylan King. King gets his revenge on Brian Holiday and ties the game here in the second inning. Bhutan was running with the pitch. He was able to move easily first to third on a flare shot out into shallow right that worked out for King. The lineup now turns back to the top for Bernard Moon. The game tied at 1. The first offering is just a touch inside. And we do ask for a little bit of patience if you're watching the video broadcast this evening. We had a big power outage last night. Every building on the block lost power. Here's the 1-0 to Moon. Called strike on the inside corner. The count now 1-1. And the power outage seemed to have taken our center field camera with it. So we are working to get that back online as quickly as possible, but we do thank you for your patience. It's been a hot day with no AC in the office. The 1-1. Popped up out of play. Foul off the first base side. They've been working on the AC out there pretty much all day. It was a little muggy in the office in the clubhouse earlier today due to that power surge is what I believe they called it. Hopefully that is behind us. Hopefully have some AC out there after today. Runner goes. The 0-2 misses down in the dirt. And King is going to jog his way into second. No throw from the catcher, Burge. And the Tortugas now with runners on second and third. King did not have a stolen base attempt on the season prior to that. I think Daytona might have been trying to force Henley, or rather Bhutan, in from third base. The count 2-2. The pitch to Moon is a high chopping ground ball, fouled down the first base line. Moon does a nice job even swinging at a pitch that was way up and out of the zone, but ran in on him, and he was able to just get a piece. Moon singled to lead off the ball game. He is now hitting .261 on the season. Holiday gets the sign and sets at the belt. The 2-2 is hit firmly on the ground, and it gets past a diving De Los Santos at short. 1 run will score. King getting the wave on from second. He will score standing. It's a 2-run single for Bernard Moon, and it's 3-1 Tortugas. The third hit in the inning for Daytona, the second of the ball game for Bernard Moon. This lineup is unbelievable right now. The top half of the Tortugas order just not getting out. Moon already with another multi-hit game, too, for his first 2. Now his 21st multi-hit game of the season. He moves right back into a tie with Kyle Henley for the most on the team in multi-hit ball games. Moon able to plate a pair. Bhutan and King was hit perfectly in that 5-6 hole. Even if De Los Santos was able to knock it down, he likely only would have saved 1 run, and Moon would have been safe at first. The Palm Beach bullpen is now moving. Brian Holiday at 38 pitches, facing Jalen Hairston with 2 outs. The first offering to Hairston. He squares to bunt, has to pull back. The pitch way inside. It's a ball. Hairston spinning around backwards to get out of the way of a 91-mile-an-hour heater that started right at him. Moon with good speed at first. Holiday's 1-0 is fouled back behind home plate. Brian Holiday, a little bit of a journeyman in college. Played at 3 different schools in 3 different years. His junior year at Oklahoma State, sophomore season at Central Florida Junior College, freshman year at Florida Southwestern State Junior College. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Hairston a little bit late. But Holiday had an unbelievably good year at Okie State last year, where he went 7-3, or rather 2 years ago. He missed last season with Tommy John. 16 starts, a 7-3 record. The 1-2 to Hairston is inside. A good leave in the count even. Holiday had a 2.95 ERA in those 16 starts. racked up 128 punch-outs, led the Big 12 in strikeouts that season. The infield is to pull on the left-handed bat. Runner goes, the 2-2 is fouled off. Got a piece of the catcher Bird. She gets a little frustrated that he had to wear that one. You will notice on all minor league baseball clubs' uniforms now, there is a new USAA jersey patch on the right sleeve. Left sleeve for the Tortugas, I guess. The 2-2 is outside, and Hairston works the count now full. Appears to be Nelfrey Infante warming up out in the bullpen. We've seen a lot of him this season. This is the 8th game between these two teams. Moon will be moving with the pitch from first. 2 outs. The 3-2 is skied in the infield. Should be playable. De Los Santos, the shortstop, going to call everybody off. He takes charge and makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. But all Daytona here in the home second. Davey Villafana now with some run support here in the top of the 3rd inning. Daytona jumps out to a 3-1 lead after 3 base hits in the 2nd inning. Boutin able to draw a 2-out walk, which set the table for Dylan King and Bernard Moon, who delivered back-to-back RBI base hits, and it's now 3-1 Tortugas. Villafana facing 9-1-2 due up here in the 3rd inning. The first offering to Trevor Haskins misses outside. Haskins played first base last night, and he was outstanding. Went 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and 2 runs. He is the designated hitter here tonight. Villafana's 1-0 is popped up, foul, dying quickly down the first base line. Doucette will watch it bounce off the warning track. Gave good effort, but was not hit nearly high enough for Doucette to have a play on it. Haskins hitting .288 in the second half of the season. .240 overall, 8 homers, 18 doubles as well. The 1-1. It hits Haskins in the middle of the back. Changeup fell out of the hand of Villafana, got away from him, and it's a leadoff base runner for the Cardinals to begin the 3rd inning, a hit by pitch. Villafana's first free pass that he has issued tonight. And we've mentioned the walk numbers from Villafana. He has walked 24 batters in the entirety of his career, which now spans about 113 innings. Just never really issues walks. It's now the leadoff batter, Sebastian De Los Santos. The first pitch from Villafana misses for a ball. De Los Santos did single to lead off the ball game in the 1st inning. Switch hitter batting left-handed against the righty Villafana. Davey gets the sign and sets at the belt, the 1-0. Runner now on a delayed steal. The throw down to second from King is offline. And Haskins slides in safely. He takes second. I've never been a huge fan of the delayed steal, but Haskins did a really nice job with the left-handed batter up. King's eye line is blocked, and he went so late that King was getting ready to throw it back to the pitcher. The count 1-1. Look out to second. The pitch from Villafana is upstairs. It misses for a ball. De Los Santos, still just an 18-year-old out of Venezuela, was signed in 2025 and played in 38 games in the Dominican Summer League last season. Very prominent switch hitting bat. The 2-1 is off the end of the bat. Slow rolling ground ball out to second. Moon gloves it and throws it across his body to first base in time to get De Los Santos by a step. Haskins able to advance to third. And there is now 1 out for Davey Villafana here in the top of the 3rd inning. Daytona has won each of their last 3 games going back to the end of the Bradenton series last week. 9-6 in the second half, currently playing their best baseball of the season. 4-2 to begin the month of July. The infield going to come in now on Braden Smith. Villafana's first offering is line foul. A screaming line drive over the seats down the third base side. Smith has had a very hot start to the second half, hitting .367. Here's the pitch from Villafana. It misses low. Smith hitting .251 on the year. 3 of his 7 home runs have been since the standings reset. The infield slightly to pull in on the cut of the infield grass. The 1-1 is low, down in the dirt for a ball. Smith out of Las Vegas, Nevada, like the Palm Beach starting pitcher tonight, Brian Holiday, is out of Oklahoma State University. The 2-1, a swing and a miss. Smith takes a huge hack on a 96-mile-an-hour heater, but way late on it. Villafana blows it right past him. Smith playing in game number 65 this season. He does not strike out much. The 2-2 is smoked deep out into right center field. Henley covers a lot of ground, going back on the warning track. Henley makes a jumping catch. Tagging up and scoring easily from third base is Trevor Haskins. Palm Beach cuts the lead in half. It's now 3-2, and there are now 2 outs with nobody on for Davey Villafana. That one took Henley all the way out to the warning track in deep right center field. Hit .373 off the bat, but Henley able to track it down. Here is Ryan Mitchell. First pitch, a slow rolling ground ball. Doucette with a backhand at first base. The underhand toss to the pitcher. Villafana covering the bag is in time. A bang-bang play, but the inning is over. A leadoff hit by pitch does come in to score on a sacrifice fly from Braden Smith. Brian Holiday's first pitch to Arnaldo Lantigua, called strike on the outside corner. Lantigua swinging a red-hot bat is 17 of his last 56 to begin the second half of the year. The 0-1 is down low, out of the zone. Lantigua does have 3 homers and 7 doubles during that stretch, leading the league in doubles in the second half. The 1-1 is fouled back behind home plate. Lantigua and Doucette hitting 3 and 4 in this lineup have just been so good. 10 extra base hits in the second half of the year. The 1-2 is way outside, down in the dirt for a ball. Well, mentioned last inning, Brian Holiday's terrific season at Oklahoma State. He had a terrific collegiate career outside of the Division I level as well. The count 2-2. The pitch to Lantigua is fouled back. Holiday was the best pitcher on the College of Central Florida and ended up helping that ball club reach the JUCO National Championship in 2023. Here's the 2-2 to Lantigua. Misses just outside. Burge tried to sell it, and the count full. And he received the Most Outstanding Pitcher Award for the JUCO World Series in that season. Holiday out of the windup. The 3-2 is low and outside. Lantigua draws a walk. A very rare one at that, issued by Brian Holiday, and Daytona with a leadoff base runner here in the third inning. In order to get that Most Outstanding Pitcher nod, Holiday had 23 strikeouts in just 9 1/3 innings. And over the course of that season, he had a 10-0 record with a 3.07 ERA, punched out almost 2 batters an inning. Facing Ty Doucette, first pitch is upstairs for a ball. 141 Ks in 88 innings, and then his freshman season at Florida Southwestern State, he had a 7-1 record. 17-1 across 2 years of college baseball. The 1-0. A breaking ball and a called strike on the outside corner. And then he went 7-3 at Oklahoma State. 24-4 overall in 3 years. Unbelievably good. The 1-1. Doucette swings and bounces it right off his front foot. The ball does roll down the first base line, but it is foul. In that season, Oklahoma State, Holiday only walked 19 batters and struck out well over 100 across 113 innings, which is a massive workload. The infield to pull with nobody out. The 1-2 to Doucette is outside just by a touch. Nice leave on the curveball. And the count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Doucette's 5 homers in the second half are the most in the league. He has 7 on the season. Hitting now .296 coming in. The pitch on the way. A swing and a miss. Holiday gets the better of Doucette now multiple times. His 4th strikeout of the ball game, and there is 1 out here in the home third. Daytona's offense has been the best in the league in the second half, hitting .283 as a ball club. Kyle Henley now the batter. First offering from Holiday is way upstairs. Daytona hitting the long ball at a much higher rate since the second half has began as well. And, of course, that does come with the prominence of Lantigua and Doucette in the middle of the lineup. Tyson Lewis helped that out before he was promoted. Henley shows bunt but pulls back and takes a called strike on a nice breaking ball. And the count now 1-1. Holiday went 4 2/3 last week at Lakeland. Gave up 3 runs on 5 hits. The pitch to Henley is swung on and driven deep out towards left center field. This one's going to fly off the scoreboard. A 2-run homer for Kyle Henley, his 2nd of the season. And it's 5-2 Tortugas. Kyle Henley shows off the power here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And the long ball continues to play a massive benefit to this Tortugas offense. Just the 2nd on the year for Henley, but Daytona now opens up a 3-run lead. Andrew Davies is now the batter with 1 out and nobody on. He swings at the first pitch and bounces it foul down the first baseline. Not that Kyle Henley doesn't have the power, but he doesn't necessarily show it off all too often. Really did there. Here's the 1-1 to Davies, a swing and a miss. So Henley now with 2 homers on the season. Had only 3 in his career coming into this year, so now 5 long balls. The 1-2. It skips in the dirt and goes straight off the home plate umpire, Jacob Gorman, rather. Bounced about 7 feet out in front of home, and the catcher, Burge, kind of got out of the way of it. He sort of leaned away, and it just bounced right up off the chest plate of Gorman. Looks like he is going to be all right. The count 2-2, 1 out. Infield, rather a ball and 2 strikes, excuse me. The infield to pull, the pitch to Davies. Is fought off, a nice breaking ball, but Davies gets a piece of it and fouls it back. Drew with the red accents tonight. Elbow guard, hand guard on that right lead arm, left-handed bat. Green wrist tape. Here's the 1-2. Bounces way out in front of home plate once again. A nice leave by Davies. Davies, just like most of the offense, swinging it very well in the second half. Has 11 runs batted in, is 12 of his last 44. The 2-2 is a high chopping ground ball back up the middle. De Los Santos fields behind the bag at second and gets rid of it in time. On to first base, Drew Davies retired, and there's now 2 outs for Brian Holiday. And here comes Rich Benjamin out of the dugout. That is going to do it for Brian Holiday. He throws 66 pitches across 2 2/3 innings tonight. Gives up a 5 spot to the Tortugas. Now taking over on the hill for the Cardinals. He will face Ichiro Kano with 2 outs and nobody on. The first offering from Infante misses outside. Daytona with 2 runs already in this inning thanks to a 2-run blast from Kyle Henley, which was 454 feet. A shot from Henley. The 1-0 is ripped on a line foul and out of play. 106 off the bat for Henley. Think that might be the furthest ball that he's ever hit. Gonna have to check with him after the game. Infante making his 16th appearance of the season, the 1-1. Cano fights it off and fouls it down the first base side, dribbles it towards the dugout. Infante with a minuscule 2.32 ERA. 2-2 record across 31 innings, 32 Ks this season. Infante out of the windup, the 1-2. Cano fouls it back. Infante threw twice against the Tortugas back in the middle of May. Daytona did have a couple hits off of him, scored 2 runs across 3 1/3. However, Infante had 7 Ks. Did not walk any. The 1-2 is lifted deep out to right field. Pena with a beat on it, going back at the warning track. He makes the catch in front of the wall for the 3rd out of the inning. The side retired, but Kyle Henley showing off the power in the bottom of the 3rd inning extends the lead for Daytona, now 5-2. Davey Villafana to face Yordaline Pena to lead off the 4th inning. The first pitch from Villafana is outside. Villafana at 44 pitches through 3 innings. Gave up a run in the first, 1 in the 3rd. Working quickly out of the windup, the 1-0 is outside. Pena comes in hitting .264 on the year. 11 homers, 17 doubles, 45 runs batted in. Villafana's 2-0 is lifted out of play, foul off the first base side. Pena with the 4th most homers in the league, the 6th most runs batted in. He has the 4th highest slugging percentage as well. 3rd most extra base hits. Villafana out of the windup, the stretch and the 2-1. A swing and a miss. Some high heat from Villafana, 96. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 4th inning, 5-2 Tortugas. The 2-2 is way inside off the hands and foul down the 3rd base line. Pena stays alive. Pena out of Santo Domingo, DR, facing his countryman Villafana, who hails from La Vega. Pena, 21 years of age. The 2-2 is fouled off the first base side. Pena, 2-time midseason All-Star in the Dominican Summer League. Each of his first 2 professional years before then playing in the complex. The 2-2 is smoked down the 3rd baseline. A long run for Davies into the corner at the wall, looking up, and it's out of here. The 12th homer on the season for Yordaline Pena. And the Cardinals answer with a home run of their own to begin the 4th inning. Villafana left a slider up in the zone, and Pena ambushed it, yanked it down that 3rd base line. It did hang up in the air for a while, 354 feet, but a long fly ball was able to clear the left field fence and bounce off the top of the old batting cages. So it's now 3 runs for Palm Beach. They still do trail by 2. And Matthew Miura will now be the batter against Davey Villafana. Those are the types of homers that you can kind of live with if you're a pitcher. His first offering to Miura is fouled off. Not that, of course, you would ever want to give up a long ball, but if you can give up a solo homer in your 4th inning of work and dial right back in, Villafana can live with that if he's able to minimize the damage in this inning. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the way. It's a called strike on the outside corner. Nicely painted by Villafana. 97 with the fastball that time. Miura popped out to the right fielder Lantigua back in the 2nd inning. The 0-2 is outside. King tried to stick it for an extra second. Miura hitting at .276 on the year. Not a lot of power numbers. Has just a homer. Comes out of Honolulu, Hawaii. The 1-1-2 is grounded foul down the 3rd baseline. Miura drafted in the 6th round by the Cardinals in last year's draft. He's 22 now, out of the University of Hawaii. Stayed home for his collegiate career and was a 2nd-team All-Big West selection last season. The 1-2 is lined out towards right. Lantigua trying to cut it off, and he gets there on the run. Lantigua takes a base hit away from Matthew Miura, and there is one out. Lantigua, not necessarily the fastest guy that you will see in the outfield, but he got a really good jump on that line drive off the bat of Miura and was able to cut it off before the ball bounced and would have potentially been extra bases. So now Jonathan Mejia, the switch-hitting third baseman, will bat from the left side. Villafaña's first offering, a breaking ball that misses just below the knees. Mejia out of La Romana, Dominican Republic. Was a top 10 prospect in the organization in 2023. The 1-0, a touchdown, and now 2 balls and no strikes. Was originally ranked as a top 15 international prospect in his signing class. The 2-0 is down in the dirt for a ball. But Mejia has been stuck in A-ball for a little while now. He spent 2 full seasons in the Complex League. This is his second season in Palm Beach. And he has struggled a bit this season, hitting 196. The 3-0 from Villafaña. Right down Broadway, a called strike. Mejia was so highly regarded, he even got $2 million as a 17-year-old to sign back in 2022. The stretch and the 3-1 is belted high in the air, deep out toward right field. This is a no-doubt homer. Mejia tosses the bat. The ball bounces off the building. It's the second home run of the inning for the Cardinals. Almost 440 feet off the bat of Jonathan Mejia, a no-doubter. And now 2 of the first 3 batters in the inning have taken Davey Villafaña yard. Mejia really watched that one fly all the way out. Didn't even flip his bat, which he ended up doing until the ball bounced off the building in right center. He watched it all the way out. 105 off the bat, 438 officially, the metrics. Almost as deep as Ty Doucette's last night, and Jason Imicus, the pitching coach, going to come out and talk things over with Davey Villafaña. Daytona's lead has suddenly been cut to just 1 run. Cuss will head back to the dugout. The infield to their normal positioning. 1 out, nobody on, top 4. Now 5-4 Tortugas leading the Cardinals. Chase Heath, the first baseman, will now face Davey Villafaña for the second time. Villafaña did strike him out back in the second inning. That is the only punch out for Davey so far tonight. First pitch from Villafaña to Heath. Misses a touch low. Changeup that time. The infield is shifted to pull. The 1-0 is fouled back. Heath took a massive swing at that one. Was swinging for the downs, trying to match his teammate Jonathan Mejia, who just hit one 440 into the gap. Doucette about 30 feet off the bag at first. The 1-1 is grounded foul over by the Daytona dugout. The Tortugas have gotten some fantastic outings from their starting pitchers over the last 2 weeks. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off. Heath a little bit out in front of a nice changeup from Villafaña, and the at-bat will continue. Villafaña has been a part of this rotation that has really excelled over this stretch. The 1-2 is slowly grounded out towards shortstop. Cano cuts it off, but it bounces off his glove, and Heath is safe at first base. Cano tried to cut in front of the shortstop, Boutin, but it bounced off the heel of his glove, and Heath is safe at first base. Going to be an infield single for Chase Heath. So now a runner at first base with 1 out. The first offering from Villafaña to Alex Burge, a big swing and a miss. So already 3 base hits in the inning for the Cardinals. Villafana could certainly use a double play ball. He has now thrown 67 pitches to this point of the ball game. The 0-1 is grounded hard right out towards short. Boutin steps on the bag and throws it to first for an inning-ending 6-3 double play. Villafana does give up a pair of homers in the inning, but is able to work around some traffic. Coach first base this inning for the Tortugas. Welcome back to the beach, Antoine Valencia. If you're just joining us, Pablo Nunez transferred back to the Complex League, and Antoine Valencia replaces him on the Tortugas roster. The first offering from Nelfrey Infante to Nielsen Boutin misses outside. Infante came on in relief last inning for the Palm Beach starter, Brian Holiday. The pitch to Boutin, a called strike. You can close the book on Holiday. He goes 2 2/3, 5 runs, all earned on 5 hits, 4 Ks, 2 walks. The 1-1 is outside. Infante did throw twice in the Lakeland series last week, where the Flying Tigers and the Cardinals split a 6-game set. Expect him to throw multiple times this week as well. The 2-1 is lifted, shallow right center field. A long run for Pena, covering distance into the gap. He makes the catch on the run. Yordaline Pena covering a lot of distance from his spot in right field. And Boutin is out to begin things here in the home fourth. Looks like the Tortugas bullpen is going to get up and moving. Hunter Holland going to start throwing. Here's the first pitch to Dylan King. It's right back up the middle and out into right center for a base hit. King with the turnaround first, and it's a 1-out single. Dylan King is now 2 for 2. He ambushes a first pitch fastball from Infante and puts it right back up the box. Great piece of hitting by Dylan King. Third career multi-hit game for DK. Ties his career high with 2 hits. Bernard Moon is already 2 for 2. Here's the first pitch from Infante. Moon grounds it foul down the third base line. Moon with a single in the first and a single in the second. Hitting above 300 in the second half of the season. The infield to Pole, the 0-1. Is smoked deep center field. Mitchell going back, looking over his shoulder at the warning track at the wall. He leaps and it goes off the fence. Extra bases. King is motoring towards third. He's going to get the wave on. The relay to the plate is cut off. King scores on an RBI double from Bernard Moon. Moon hits it high in the air. The wind carries it to deep straightaway center field. Mitchell back on the warning track could not reel it in. It ended up being a really tough play. And Moon drives in King from first base. Daytona with another run here in the fourth inning. They have scored now in their last 3 offensive frames, and it is 6-4 Tortugas. Moon the runner at second. Jalen Hairston is now the batter. The first offering from Infante is smoked on a line, but foul down the first base line. On past Antoine Valencia, coaching first. All-time Lenny Harris, of course, at third base this evening. The infield slightly to pull on Jalen Hairston. He is 0 for 2. Infante's 0-1 is fouled back behind home plate. Well, Bernard Moon with now back-to-back 3-hit games. He now has 5 3-hit games on the season. Does have a 4-hit game, and he's going to have a chance to match his career high, which he has done 3 times. The count 0-2. A look out to second. The pitch to Hairston. Is strike 3 called. Hairston knew it. Nice changeup from Infante. Paints the inner third of the plate. And there's now 2 outs. First punch out for Nelfrey Infante. The starter, Brian Holiday, had 4. But the Tortugas have not been striking out nearly as much as they were in the first half. And now Arnaldo Lantigua in a big spot with 2 outs and a runner on second base. Infante rocks and deals. Breaking ball down in the dirt. It kicks away from Burge. But Moon not going anywhere from second. They do appeal the swing, but Lantigua able to hold up. Lantigua with runners in scoring position this season, hitting .286. The 1-0 is lifted out towards left field. Miura is waiting for it. It's a mile high, now ranging towards the gap. Miura reels it in for the third out of the inning. The side retired, but Daytona adds another. Davey Villafana back out for the top of the 5th inning. Daytona added another run in the bottom of the 4th thanks to Bernard Moon's 3rd hit of the ballgame. It is now 6-4 Daytona. Hunter Holland has been throwing out in the bullpen. Villafana will face 9-1-2. The first offering to Trevor Haskins is a called strike on the outside corner. Haskins was hit by a pitch and came around to score back in the 3rd inning. Here's the stretch in the 0-1. Breaking ball just outside from Villafana. Villafana did give up 2 solo homers last inning to Yordaline Pena and Jonathan Mejia. This is a very heavy power hitting lineup for the Cardinals. A huge swing and a miss on a nasty slider from Villafana. And the count now 1-2 on Trevor Haskins. Palm Beach now has 27 homers in the second half of the season. The 1-2 is just low. King was about to throw it around the horn, and it did miss just barely low. Good call from Jacob Gorman. Palm Beach with 27 homers. This is their 17th game in the second half. That's unreal. The 2-2, a wave and a miss. Villafana climbs the ladder. Trevor Haskins sat down, and it's 1 up and 1 down to begin things in the top of the 5th inning for Davey Villafana. His second punch out of the ball game. Another strikeout, another $10 for fighting cancer, presented by bowlingball.com. It's where bowlers go. And it's now the top of the lineup. 3rd time through against Villafana. Here is Sebastian De Los Santos. First pitch, breaking ball, misses low. The sunset now becoming apparent on the 3rd base side of the field. Glaring out towards the first base dugout. The 1-0 is off the hands. A slow rolling grounder. Doucette fields at first. Plenty of time. He jogs it to the bag himself, and there's 2 outs for Davey Villafana quickly here in the top of the 5th inning. Villafana at 75 pitches. This will likely be his last batter either way, you might imagine. Hunter Holland has been throwing for a little bit, but you know that Ricky would like to get Holland a fresh inning, considering that he's coming off Tommy John. Here's the first pitch to Braden Smith. It misses outside. King very frustrated with that one. That one caught the zone. The one prior did not. But King really thought he had that one. Villafana out of the windup. The 1-0 is slowly dribbled. Foul down the first base line. The most that Davey Villafana has thrown in an outing this season is 86 pitches. That was at Dunedin a month ago from yesterday, the 7th of June. The infield is to pull. The count 1-1. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch from Villafana. Just a touch outside. Nice location on a changeup. Smith is 0 for 1, but he does have an RBI and has scored a run tonight. The 1-2. 2-1 rather, a swing and a miss. And the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smith stole a base back in the first inning as well. Had a sacrifice fly in the 3rd. The count 2-2. The stretch and the pitch from Villafana is grounded down the first baseline on past a diving Doucette and out into the right field corner. It kicks off the sidewall. Antigua tracks it down, and now Smith is going to chug for 3rd. No throw to the bag. It's a stand-up 2-out triple for Braden Smith. Smoked on the ground down the 3rd base line. Doucette did his best. Dove and tried to cut it off, but it was hit just a little bit too hard and ended up rolling all the way out into the corner. So Villafana will now face Ryan Mitchell, and he will go out of the windup with a runner on third base and 2 outs. The tying run at the plate for the Cardinals. Villafana's first offering to Mitchell, a wave and a miss on a nasty slider. Villafana a little bit better against right-handed bats than left-handed bats this season. The 0-1. Outside corner, perfectly executed, and a called strike with 96. Lefties hitting .270 against Villafana this season. Had a great month of June with a 2.81 ERA. Trying to finish 5 strong here tonight. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Davey Villafana strands a base runner in the 5th and tosses 5 strong innings with a 9-6 record. Palm Beach 10-6. Again, Daytona is 1 game behind the scheduled pace currently. We had that rainout in St. Lucie about 3 weeks ago now, which will be made up at the beginning of August, the next time the Tortugas head down to Port St. Lucie. Ty Doucette punched out twice, surprisingly, against the starter Brian Holiday. He will now get to face Nelfrey Infante for the first time. Here's the first pitch to Doucette. Misses just a touch high with the changeup. Doucette, the Florida State Player of the Week last week. 0 for 2 to begin tonight's game. Here's the stretch in the 1-0. A chopping ground ball on a hop to Mejia at third. He shuffles and throws in time across the infield to get Doucette at first base. And it's 1 up and 1 down for Nelfrey Infante in the home 5th. Infante came out of the bullpen with 2 outs in the home 3rd. Did get out of that inning, but then gave up a run last inning. The Tortugas have scored in each of their last 3 innings, thanks in part to a 2-run homer from Kyle Henley. He bats now. First pitch swinging, a line drive foul. Well, of course, looking a little bit too far down the road early, but Henley already 2 for 2 tonight with a single and a homer. And for him, the homer is the hard part of the cycle, that is. The 0-1, a wave and a miss. The doubles and triples have come pretty easily for Kyle Henley this year. His 4 triples are the second most in the Florida State League, and he has 15 doubles as well. The 0-2 is strike 3 called on the outside corner. Fastball freezes Henley. 3-pitch punch out for Nelfrey Infante, and it's 2 up and 2 down. Hunter Holland has been throwing for a little bit of time out in the Daytona bullpen. He will assuredly take over for the Tortugas in the 6th inning. Drew Davies just announced as the IHOP Player of the Game. He is 0 for 2. First pitch from Infante to Davies, a big swing and a miss. Infante extremely good against right-handed bats, not as good against lefties, however. The 0-1 is inside. And Davies hits right-handed pitching very well. Infante throws changeup even a little bit more than his sinker and his fastball, about a third of the time. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. There is the changeup from Nelfrey Infante. He was in Palm Beach last year as well. Made 24 appearances, 13 starts. Out of the windup, the 1-2. Here's a check swing at the top of the zone. Appeal down to first. Davies holds up. And the count now 2-2. Drew seeing it very well at the start of the second half. Has 2 homers now on the season in 69 games. This is 70th. Infante's 2-2. His strike 3 called on the inside corner. Davies frustrated, but he is rung up, and back-to-back strikeouts for Nelfrey Infante ends the inning. Holland out of the University of Arkansas, coming off of Tommy John surgery. This is his 3rd different stint here in Daytona Beach. He faces Yordaline Pena, a pop-up foul territory, first base side, a long run for Doucette. Doucette under it, and he makes the catch in foul territory for the first out of the inning. It's 1 pitch and 1 out for Hunter Holland. Well, it appeared in Bradenton that Holland was on a pretty strict 20-pitch mark. He ended up throwing 22, but was pulled after 2/3 of an inning, so we'll see if he has one again tonight or potentially 2 innings. Would pretty much never be any more than 2. Matthew Miura now the batter. First pitch from Holland is painted on the outside corner with a called strike. Hunter Holland, a towering 6'5", 200-pound, 23-year-old lefty out of Longview, Texas. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball misses just in. The fastball slider combination for Holland is very, very good. He was reinstated from the 60-day IL on July 2nd, just 6 days ago, and ended up pitching on the 4th of July. The 1-1 is outside. He has been drafted twice in his career. Once originally was by the Brewers out of San Jacinto College, where he spent the first 2 seasons of his collegiate career before transferring to Arkansas. The 2-1 is lifted out toward shallow right center. Henley cruising towards the gap. He is under it and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Miura flies out, and it's 2 up and 2 down for Hunter Holland. Holland made 4 appearances for the Tortugas last year. 4 appearances for the Tortugas in 2024. This is his 3rd straight season pitching for Daytona. He's only thrown a combined 30-something innings in his pro career. The first pitch to Jonathan Mejia is inside. Mejia with a very good start to the ball game tonight. 2 for 2 with a homer and a single already. The infield to pull. Holland's 1-0 is dotted on the outside corner with the fastball at 91. That is just a picture-perfect heater from the left-hander. Holland was then selected in the 3rd round, 74th overall in 2023 by the Cincinnati Reds. The 1-1, breaking ball outside corner, called strike. Nasty pitch from Hunter Holland. Slows it down to 77 with that slider. And then he can rush it up into the low 90s as well. Holland in the driver's seat. The 1-2 is just outside. Did get to see Hunter Holland pitch when he was at Arkansas. That was against TCU when I was with the Horned Frogs baseball team. He was very good then, is still very good, working back from a couple injuries. The 2-2 is flown foul off the first base side. Tommy John, one of multiple offseason surgeries that Holland underwent. Did begin a rehab appearance in the Arizona Complex League prior to being promoted here to Single-A Daytona. The stretch in the 2-2 is just a touch low in the dirt, and the count now full on Jonathan Mejia. Holland looking for a clean 1-2-3 top of the 6th inning. Daytona leading Palm Beach 6-4. A 2-run advantage for the Tortugas. The infield very deep. Holland sets at the letters. He kicks and deals. A blooper out towards shallow left. Boutin going out on the cut of the grass. He makes the catch. We are hoping to not be impacted by that at all. Did just check the radar. Doesn't appear that we're going to get any rain. The main concern is just that lightning. The wind has really picked up out to straightaway center field. Ichiro Kano to lead off the inning against Nelfrey Infante. The first offering misses just a touch inside. Fastball at 95 miles an hour. Cano 0 for 2 so far tonight. The 1-0 is inside once again. Cano has been seeing it well, however, as of late. Has 50 hits this season, 3 of them homers, 3 triples, 10 doubles. The 2-0, a wave and a miss. Cano went after a changeup right at that bottom corner of the zone. Very nicely executed from Infante, especially against the left-handed bat of Cano. Infante out of the windup. The 2-1 is ripped on a line, but foul. And into the new concrete area down the first baseline. What are we going to call that area? We need some kind of name for it. It's where the old flight deck used to be. The new one is now on the third base side. Very beautiful. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Cano is fouled back. Maybe I'm behind the 8-ball or something. I do miss some things in the office, at least when I'm on the road with the team, but feel like it'd be a good idea to have a name for that. Maybe Mike should work on a sponsorship. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Cano is upstairs, and Cano works the count, now back to full. Infante out of the windup. The 3-2 is fouled back. Cano able to get a piece. Infante already with 3 strikeouts across 2 1/3 innings of 1 run, 2 hit baseball. Set down the side in order with 2 punch outs last inning. The 3-2 to Cano is grounded foul off the first base side, and we'll do it again. Cano changed his jersey number yesterday. He's no longer wearing 13. He's now wearing number 4, which Tyson Lewis did wear prior to his promotion. The 3-2 is lined through the left side of the infield and out into left for a base hit. Ichiro Cano wins an 8-pitch battle with Nelfrey Infante. It's a leadoff single to begin things here in the home 6th. The Tortugas with a base runner. Outstanding at bat from Ichiro Cano. Weighted back on a slider that was a bit elevated and was able to stay on top of the baseball and drive it through the left side, which is something that is definitely difficult to do. We did hear a thunder eruption? What's the word? Not a strike. We heard thunder off in the distance last AB. Boutin takes a ball on the first pitch. Cano the runner at first with nobody out. Daytona with a 2-run lead. Infante sets. The 1-0 is inside. Boutin has reached base already tonight. Walked and scored back in the 2nd inning. Flew out in the 4th. Alex Burge, the catcher, now going to head out and talk to his pitcher. Infante did just see a little lightning strike just above overhead, but at least on top of the playing surface currently, it is pretty much blue skies and a nice sunset off the third base side of the field. The wind is picked up with gusts at about 12 to 13 miles an hour to straightaway center field. Definitely helped Kyle Henley's get out a little bit, but he hit at 452. That was going to go regardless. Burge back behind the dish. The count 2-0 on a Nielsen Boutin. Right-handed bat. The infield at double play depth. The pitch on the way. Way inside. Boutin jumps back and out of the way. Boutin out of Haiti originally. His father from the DR, mother from Haiti. The 3-0. Boutin taking all the way. It's a strike called on the inside corner. Boutin really is a true utility guy and still a young prospect at just 20 years of age. He can really play all over. He's playing shortstop tonight. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. Boutin chased one up and out of the zone, and the count now full. Boutin has continued to cut his strikeout rate across his professional career. The 3-2. Bounced foul back behind home plate. In 25 games, Boutin with 26 strikeouts. Not a bad mark. Does only have 4 walks. Is working on seeing some more pitches. Cano still the runner at first base with nobody out. 6-4 Tortugas. The count full. Infante's 3-2 is fouled off. Hit off the end of Boutin's bat, and then on the follow-through, it hit Boutin's bat again and ended up rolling down the first base side foul. And for the first time in a while, the Cardinals do have some action up in their bullpen. Down the first base line. The infield still looking for a 2-ball. The 3-2. Boutin swinging away, fouls one down the first base line. That pitch was a little bit up and out of the strike zone once again, but Boutin did do a nice job protecting. There's another rumbling of thunder. Infante gets the sign and sets at the belt. The 3-2, a wave and a miss. Boutin comes up empty on a nice changeup down in the dirt. It's a strikeout for Nelfrey Infante, his 4th tonight, and there is one out. Well, Dylan King has been seeing it very well tonight. 2 for his first 2. He has scored on both occasions. The first pitch from Infante is a called strike at the top of the zone. Change up at 84. King also had his first stolen base of the season back in the second inning. Now in the stolen base category, first as a pro. The pitch from Infante. King reaches out, pokes it off the end of his bat, foul. The right-on-left changeup from Nelfry Infante has been his go-to weapon over the last inning. He has started to throw that changeup a lot more, tailing away from the left-handed bats. He likes to throw it off the plate like he did there. The 0-2. Inside, King takes it. 94 with a heater. Daytona not necessarily unfamiliar with seeing Nelfry Infante. This is third outing of the season against Daytona. Has 2 saves this season. The 1-2 is smoked but foul. Down the first base side and out of play. King a little bit out in front on a changeup that wasn't elevated, but it didn't get to where Infante wanted. It ended up right around the knees. He would have rather buried that pitch. Infante shakes and now gets the pitch he wants. The 1-2 is popped up, shallow right field, hooking towards the foul line. A long run in for Pena. He is under it and makes the catch for the out. King retired, and there's now 2 outs for Nelfry Infante. First time that Dylan King has failed to reach base tonight. Daytona has really produced 1 through 9 this evening, but primarily at the top of the lineup, the 1 spot for Bernard Moon. He is already 3 for his first 3, and now will come to the plate with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Daytona leading by 2 runs. Infante throws it over to first, and it goes wide. The throw up the line. Cano heading into second. He's going to turn and make his way towards third. Finally, Smith, the second baseman, is up for it. He throws it into home plate, but Dylan King, or rather Ichiro Cano, is able to go first to third on an errant throw from the pitcher, Nelfry Infante. Infante pulled that throw down in the dirt. It got on past the first baseman, Heath, and out into the bullpen area. Bullpen catcher John Frank Salazar had to jump out of the way of it to avoid it hitting him. Runner on third. The first pitch to Moon. Oh, it ran up and hit him. Ran up and bounced right off of Moon's forearm, right in the wrist area. He's grimacing in pain, walking around by the Tortugas third base dugout. Well, this is not the guy that you want to get hit by a pitch if you're Ricky Gutierrez. Moon will be aboard for the 4th time tonight, but you don't need anything to take this guy out of the lineup. It looked like it caught a little bit more meat than it did bone. Don't think that it ran in on his fingers at all. But now I see Nick Briggs-Ellenberger, the athletic trainer, checking out those fingers. Moon does still look to be experiencing some pain. Rafael Torres would be available off the bench if Ricky needed him. But Moon taking off his foot guard. Looks like he's going to make his way over to first base. Hopefully Mooney going to be all right. Swinging it so well. Moon sheds the foot guard, the elbow guard. He's now going to lose the batting gloves and take as much time as he needs. The umpires, of course, not going to rush him through this. And Moon is going to walk his way down to first base, flexing his right hand, but looks like it is going to be all right. So Daytona, now with runners on the corners, Moon is aboard for the 4th time tonight. And Jalen Hairston will have a chance to deliver, but doesn't look like it's going to be against Nelfry Infante. The skipper, Rich Benjamin, out of the dugout. He is going to go to the bullpen with 2 on and 2 outs here in the home 6th. After hitting Bernard Moon with a pitch, Nelfry Infante has been pulled from the ballgame. And Caden Eschman will now take over on the mound for the Cardinals. Third arm used tonight by Rich Benjamin. He will face the left-handed bat of Jalen Hairston with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Eschman sets at the belt. The pitch to Hairston is smoked high in the air, deep out to right field. This is a no-doubt 3-run homer for Jalen Hairston. First pitch swinging, first pitch crushing. The 3rd homer of the year for Jalen Hairston. Welcome to Daytona Beach, Caden Eschman. A 3-run blast. And the Tortugas lead it 9-4. What a shot from Jalen Hairston. Arnaldo Lantigua now the batter. He takes a fastball at the knees and a called strike. Hairston's 3rd homer onto the balcony out in right center field. The 0-1 to Lantigua, swing and a miss. So Cano and Moon both score on the 3-run blast from Hairston. The Tortugas have now scored in 4 of 6 innings offensively and have hung 9 runs on a good pitching staff in Palm Beach. The stretch and the pitch to Lantigua, a swing and a miss. After giving up a 3-pitch homer on, or a 3-run homer on the first pitch that he throws. Jalen Hairston with a huge 3-run blast in the bottom of the 6th inning has given the Tortugas now a 5-run lead. Hunter Holland back out on the mound facing Chase Heath. The first pitch backdoor breaking ball is a called strike. Daytona now with a 5-run advantage and 9 defensive outs away from being in first place. The pitch from Holland is up and outside. Well, we talked about it last inning. Holland was able to go 1-2-3 in his first inning of work, only threw 12 pitches, so he's right back out now for the 7th inning. The pitch to Heath. Breaking ball just a touch high. Holland coming off of Tommy John surgery, so his outings will be semi-abbreviated, but he was very sharp last inning. Holland's 2-1 is a little bit outside with the breaking ball, and the count now 3 balls and a strike on the first baseman, Chase Heath. He is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout tonight. Holland sets at the letters. He kicks and fires. Up and out. 5-pitch walk, and Heath is aboard, leadoff base runner for the Cardinals to begin the top of the 7th inning. That is the first walk of the ball game issued by Tortugas pitching. Davey Villafana did hit a batter, but he did not issue any walks. So it's a free pass. And now Alex Burge, the left-handed hitting catcher, steps to the plate. First pitch from Holland runs inside, and it hits Burge with the breaking ball. Got away from him. Back-to-back free passes, and it's now runners on first and second for the Cardinals. Well, the Daytona pitching staff has been terrific. We've talked about that, but they honestly haven't really needed it to have been as good as they have been with how terrific the offense has been. Daytona has already scored 20 runs against Palm Beach in the first 15 innings of this series. The first pitch from Hollins to Haskins runs way inside. Holland, that is. And Haskins had to back out of the way. That was a fastball a little bit slower than usual and way inside. Heath at second, Burge at first. Nobody out. Top 7. Holland kicks and deals. Swing and a ground ball. Bounced foul down the third base side. It goes out into left on the ricochet. The skipper, Rich Benjamin, coaches first base for the Cardinals. Hitting coach Ben Brooks is coaching first base tonight. The infield at double play depth. The 1-1. Off the end of the bat, fouled back behind home plate. And Holland now in the driver's seat, 1-2. Wouldn't expect to see Hunter Holland really throw any more than, say, 30 or 35 pitches tonight, through 22 last week at Bradenton. Here's the stretch and the 1-2. It is up and outside. Haskins takes for a ball. Haskins 0 for 1 tonight, but he did score a run in the third. He was hit by that pitch from Villafana. Other than that, just the 2 free passes in this inning. The pitching staff has continued to be good. Here's the 2-2, a swing and a foul ball. Back into the backstop behind home plate. Haskins just barely able to get a piece of a nice breaking ball from Holland. Haskins out of Stanford was the 15th round pick by the Cardinals. 450 overall in last year's draft. Holland sets above the belt. Runners go. Nope. The 2-2 is bounced slowly back to Holland on the mound. The only play is to first, so he will make it. A swinging bunt for Trevor Haskins, and both runners do move up 90 feet. Heath to third and Burge to second. Heath got a huge lead off second. Looked like he was going to go. Took a couple hard steps, but ended up shutting it down. It wouldn't have really mattered either way, considering Holland just went to first with it. Both runners were moving pretty quickly. So now second and third for the leadoff batter, Sebastian De Los Santos. He bats from the right side now. The first pitch from Holland is a breaking ball that is inside off the plate. De Los Santos with a slow start to his single-A career. Comes in hitting a .180. Does have a single tonight. The 1-0. On the inside corner and a called strike. Hitting from the right side, De Los Santos only 1 for 12 this season. A little bit better from the left side. The 1-1 is fouled down the first base side, and it ricochets into the Palm Beach bullpen from the Turtles' nest. It bounces. That's a really tough angle. I don't think we've seen a foul ball get hit into the bullpen yet this season. Action now in the Daytona bullpen. The 1-2 is swung on and lifted straight away center field. Henley going back. He's camped in front of the warning track, and he makes the catch. Heath will tag up and score easily from third base. Burge does not advance from second. And there's now 2 outs for Hunter Holland. It's a run for the Cardinals, and the lead now 9-5 for the Tortugas. Sacrifice fly off the bat of Sebastian De Los Santos, his 8th RBI of the season. Ball took Henley all the way out to the warning track and straight away center. Left on left now for Braden Smith. The first pitch from Holland, a big swing and a miss. Smith has been decent left on left this season, hitting .229, 11 for 48. Does have 1 left on left homer. His other 6 against righties. Holland rocks and deals. A breaking ball, a check swing, a peel out to second. But Smith able to hold up. And the count evens at a ball and a strike with 2 outs. Holland has now thrown 30 pitches. This could potentially be his last batter. A look out to second. The 1-1. Misses just low. Boutin is getting in dangerous territory out behind the bag at second. He is very close to being on the wrong side of the base. We know with the new shift rules, you can't do that. Holland kicks and fires. Breaking ball and a called strike on the inside corner. The count now 2-2. That was a touch high, which is what Braden Smith is relaying to Jacob Gorman back behind home. Boutin holding the runner at second base. Holland looking for a big out. The 2-2. It runs in and hits Smith in the back. Breaking ball got away from Holland. Third free pass of the inning, second hit by pitch. And it's now runners on at first and second with 2 outs for the Cardinals. Well, let's see what Ricky decides to do. Abraham Gaitan has been throwing in the bullpen. Ricky has not even looked like he's going to step out of the dugout just yet. Dylan King, the catcher, is out on the mound talking things over with Hunter Holland. He will have another left-on-left matchup if he does continue with Ryan Mitchell. Looks like Ricky's going to let him go one more. Holland has thrown 33 pitches. Through an inning and 2/3. Just needs one more out to get out of this jam. He has not surrendered a base hit across an inning and 2/3, but does have a walk and a hit by pitch. Holland ready to go. The pitch to Mitchell, a called strike with a nice slider. The velocity difference is very profound from heater to slider for Holland. About 92 all the way down to 76. The stretch in the 0-1 is down in the dirt. King able to keep it in front. Mitchell has not been very good left on left this season, hitting just a $156, which is likely why Ricky went to Holland for this second inning, was the left on left matchups with Burge, Smith, and now Mitchell, and as well to turn De Los Santos around to the right side. Holland granted a quick second of time so that he can fix the buttons on his jersey. A run is already scored for Palm Beach in the inning. It's 9-5 Tortugas. The stretch and the pitch on the way. Way upstairs. King has to jump up to get it. And the count now 2 balls and a strike on the left-handed hitting center fielder Ryan Mitchell. He's 1 for 3, doubled back in the first inning. Did plate a run on that hit. Holland gets the sign and sets the stretch in the 2-1. A breaking ball that just misses. A touch up and outside. Holland does not want to lose Mitchell. The very dangerous bat of Yordaline Pena is the tying run in the on-deck circle. The infield to pull. The 3-1 is high and outside, a 5-pitch walk, and the bases are now loaded for the Cardinals. You'd have to imagine that's going to be it for Hunter Holland. It is. Ricky already out of the dugout. He points to the bullpen. Abraham Gaitan going to come on for the Tortugas with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Try and get his teammate Hunter Holland out of this jam right after this. Hunter Holland does not give up a hit across an inning and 2/3, but he does leave the bases loaded after 38 pitches here in the top of the 7th inning. Daytona leading the Cardinals 9-5, and the tying run will now come to the plate in the form of Yordaline Pena. He will face Abraham Gaitan coming on out of the bullpen. Gaitan ready to go. A deep breath, the first offering to Pena is outside. Gaitan making his 17th appearance of the season, has a 2-1 record with a 7.47 ERA, 29 Ks, 13 walks on the season. The bag's packed full of Cardinals. The 1-0 from Gaitan is low for a ball. The heater will be in the low 90s for Gaitan. Does have a slider in the upper 70s, a changeup around 85. Burge, the runner at third, Smith at second, Mitchell at first base. The count 2-0 with 2 outs. The 2-0 from Gaitan is fouled back. Pena took a healthy hack at it. Yordaline Pena already with a home run tonight. That was his 12th of the season, and it led off the 4th inning. He is the tying run at the plate. It is 9-5 Tortugas. The infield at maximum depth against a dangerous bat. Gaitan sets at the belt. The 2-1 is outside. Pena takes it, and he is now in the driver's seat. 3 balls and a strike. Gaitan did throw against Palm Beach 2 innings back in May, and he gave up 3 runs during that outing on 3 hits. Gaitan sets. The stretch and the 3-1 is inside. He walks in a run. Burge comes in to score from third, and the bases remain loaded. The Cardinals now with the tying run aboard at first base. They still do not have a hit in this inning. After not walking anyone all game, the Tortugas have walked 3 and hit 2 batters in this inning. That run is charged to Hunter Holland. He is still responsible for Mitchell at second and Smith at third. Matthew Miura now the batter. First pitch from Gaitan. Called strike at the knees. Nicely executed with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Miura, the 8th batter to the plate this inning for the Cardinals, and they still don't have a hit. Gaitan gets the sign and sets. The 0-1. Misses low. A nice leave by Miura. Miura 0 for 3 tonight. He has flown out twice to right field, once to center. The infield still very deep. The stretch and the 1-1 is just a touch outside as we see some lightning flash off in the distance. Gaitan struggling with his command a little bit. 5 of his first 7 pitches, rather 6 of his first 8 have now been balls. The 2-1. It catches the outside corner with a nice changeup and a called strike. Gaitan painting the edges right now, doing a good job on that outside part of the plate. Daytona in need of a big out. They lead things by 3. Gaitan's 2-2. Is off the end of the bat, a one-hopper right back to him. Gaitan going to run it over to first. An underhand toss is in time, and the side retired for the Tortugas here in the top of the 7th inning. Palm Beach able to scratch across 2 runs in the top of the 7th. Daytona with a chance to get him back, facing Caden Eschman once again here in the bottom of the inning. He will face 4, 5, and 6. Ty Doucette to lead off the frame. The first offering from Eschman is a called strike at the knees. Eschman came on last inning in relief of Nelfrey Infante. The first pitch that he threw was ambushed by Jalen Hairston for a 3-run homer. The 0-1 is a called strike with a really nice breaking ball at the top of the zone. So you can close the book on Nelfrey Infante. He went 3 innings out of the bullpen, gave up 3 runs, all earned on 3 hits, 4 strikeouts. The 0-2 to Doucette. It misses just up with the breaking ball. Infante did not walk anybody. He was charged with 2 of the 3 runs that came in to score on the Hairston homer. The 1-2. Doucette rips it, but foul down the first base line. Out towards the Palm Beach bullpen. Doucette uncharacteristically quiet this evening. 0 for 3 to begin the ball game after his 4 for 5 night last night. He has a hit in each of his last 9. Has reached base in 14 consecutive. Looking to extend both streaks. The infield slightly to pull, the wind blowing out to straightaway center. Eschman sets the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Doucette chases on a curveball down in the dirt, and it's 1 up and 1 down for Caden Eschman to begin the home 7th. And now here is Kyle Henley. Had his 2nd homer of the year back in the 3rd inning. That is essentially what chased the starter Holiday. Nobody on with 1 out. 9-6 Tortugas. The first offering from Eschman. A big swing and a miss by Henley. Caden Eschman, the 3rd arm used by Rich Benjamin and the Cardinals tonight. Ricky and the Tortugas are on their 3rd as well. Eschman sets the 0-1. Here's a breaking ball outside. It misses. Eschman, the 12th round pick in last year's draft out of Northern Kentucky, where he played for the Norse. The stretch and the pitch to Henley is fouled back. Eschman signed for $150,000, rather $175,000. Throws fastball, curveball, cutter, slider. Throw fastball a little bit over half the time. His curveball is the better of his off-speed pitches. Did get a win against Bradenton just about 12 days ago. The infield deep on the speedy Henley. The 1-2 Is strike three called on the outside corner. Henley rung up. He disagrees. Doesn't matter. It's 3 straight strikeouts for Caden Eschman and back-to-back punch-outs to begin the inning. Was about a ball off the plate. A generous call from Jacob Gorman, but Henley rung up nonetheless. Eschman had a fantastic collegiate career at Northern Kentucky. Second team All-Horizon League in 2023. Now facing Drew Davies, left-handed bat. The first pitch from Eschman is a called strike with the breaking ball on the inside corner. Led Northern Kentucky in strikeouts. Did miss all of 2024 with an injury, but then played in 2025. The stretch in the 0-1. Misses just high. Last season at NKU, had a 3-3 record, a 4.34 ERA. He has an outrageous amount of decisions this season, a 6-4 record for Caden Eschman this year. The pitch to Davies, misses down in the dirt. The count now 2 balls and a strike. Across 22 appearances, he has a decision in almost half of them. 5.08 ERA, 50 strikeouts across 39 innings of work. Can definitely see why that is the case. The 2-1. A broken bat, looper out toward shallow left field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. De Los Santos was chasing it, but he couldn't get there. And Drew Davies extends his on-base streak to now 22 consecutive games. His first base hit of the night. The Tortugas now with double-digit hits tonight. That was their 10th of the ball game. After a season-high 17, the offense continuing to roll this evening, already with 9 runs. Ichiro Kano is now the batter from the left side. He's 1 for 3. Singled and scored last inning. The first pitch from Eschman is inside. Eschman is kind of a longer relief arm. He threw 36 pitches across 3 shutout innings last week at Lakeland. That was 5 days ago. Give up only 1 hit, punched out 2. Already has 3 strikeouts here tonight. Eschman sets at the belt. The 1-0 to Cano. Misses just barely inside for a ball. A nice leave by Cano. Eschman does hail originally from the state of Kentucky, and now it looks like the athletic training staff is going to come out and check on him. Look down for a quick second, not necessarily sure what Eschman came up looking at there, but it doesn't look great. The pitching coach, Evan Johnson, out on the mound, joined in tow by the athletic trainer, Jordan Henk, for Caden Eschman. Didn't exactly see what happened. I looked down right after he threw the pitch, and it seemed like he came up with a pretty clear injury. Zeke Wood, a 6'4", 205-pound, 26-year-old right-hander out of Texas State University. This is second season in the Cardinals organization. The 2-0 to Ichiro Kano is a called strike. Eschman started the at-bat against Cano. He does still remain responsible for Drew Davies over at first base. There is 1 out. And now Caden Eschman is trying to walk out to the clubhouse, and he had to go on the field, so a brief pause. This only the 4th appearance on the year for Zeke Wood. He has a 1-0 record with a 4.50 ERA. Only 2 runs across 4 innings. The 2-1 is high and outside for a ball. Wood signed as an undrafted free agent in June of last year with the Cardinals. Comes from Sulphur Springs, Texas. Here's the 3-1. It misses high. Cano draws a walk, and the Tortugas now with 2 on and 2 out here in the home 7th. Davies will move up to second. Daytona trying to mount a bit of a 2-out rally here in the 7th inning. The Tortugas have scored in 4 of 6 offensive innings to this point. They scored 3 runs last inning on a 3-run blast from Jalen Hairston, and a Nielsen Buten will now bat. Wood sets and delivers. Buten looked like he was taking all the way, and it was a called strike on the outside corner. That was a slider at 83, top of the zone from Wood. The infield deep, no hold on Cano at first base. The stretch and the pitch on the way, a wave and a miss. Buten fooled on a really nice cutter, a little bit down and out of the zone, and the count quickly 0-2 on the Tortuga shortstop, Nielsen Buten. A big spot for the Palm Beach bullpen, trying to keep their offense in this game, trailing by 3. The 0-2 is strike 3 called. A nasty slider from Zeke Wood. He throws Buten just 3 pitches and gets the punch out, hoping for the best for Caden Eschman, the Tortugas. But Valencia has now taken over here in the top of the 8th inning. So Valencia will be in the leadoff spot in the batting order, and he will be due up second in the bottom of the 8th inning. Welcome back to Daytona, Antoine Valencia. Very happy to have him back. And Abraham Gaitan back out on the mound. He will face Mejia, Heath, and Burge here in the 8th inning. Gaitan rocks and deals. The first pitch to Jonathan Mejia is outside. Gaitan took over last inning for Hunter Holland. He walked a batter and then got the final out to get out of that inning. Here's the 1-0. A check swing, foul ball, straight back behind home plate. So you can close the book on Hunter Holland. He goes an inning and 2/3. Gives up 2 runs on no hits. Walked 2 and hit 2 batters as well. The count, a ball and a strike, nobody on, nobody out. The pitch from Gaitan is on the inside corner and a called strike. Well, Ricky could also be using the Valencia substitution as a little bit of a defensive replacement as well. The 1-2. Check swing. Mejia holds up on appeal. Valencia is very good defensively and is a utility guy that can play just about anywhere. A little bit surprised that he didn't go to shortstop and see Buten to second, but doesn't matter too much. The 2-2 is lifted out towards left field. Davies with no problem. He is under it and makes the catch. It's 1 up and 1 down for Abraham Gaitan in the 8th. Daytona has almost resurrected as a ball club since the second half began. This is a team that looks semi-unrecognizable compared to what they had at the end of the first half, which was a struggling ball club, but they've really turned it around. Here's the first pitch to Chase Heath. He pops it up. Foul territory, first base side, a long run for Doucette on the warning track, and Doucette overran it. It bounced on the warning track about 5 feet further towards fair territory than Doucette was. That can be a little bit tough to judge with the dugout ending and then foul territory getting a little bit bigger. So it's a second life for Chase Heath, but almost a quick 2 outs for Abraham Gaitan. The sun has set here at the Jack, the field lights illuminating the entirety of the playing surface. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Heath chases a heater up and out of the zone, and the count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Heath 1 for 2 tonight, a single, a walk, and a run scored. He struck out in the second as well. Gaitan's 0-2 is skied. Shallow right field, should be playable. It's Valencia going back. He's calling for it. Valencia reaches out and he misses it. Lantigua was right behind him, and he throws it into second as Heath will cruise into the bag. A miscue defensively between Antoine Valencia and Arnaldo Lantigua out in right field. That was a ball that Lantigua likely should have called for and taken over, but instead Valencia called for it. Nobody touched it, so it's going to be a double for Chase Heath. Alex Burge is now the batter. Daytona had 2 different chances to get out number 2 there and wasn't able to come up with either of them. A deep breath, the first pitch from Gaitan to Burge. It misses just a touch high with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Well, Daytona giving away a couple free outs during that at-bat, and now Abraham Gaitan going to have to get an extra out. Not necessarily how you draw it up. One out, a runner at second. The pitch from Gaitan is fouled off. Daytona still does lead things at 9-6. When the Tortugas this season lead after 7 innings, they are 21-3. Just 1-41 when they do not. Palm Beach is just 3-35, trailing after 7. It's a swing and a miss by Burge, and the count now 1-2. Palm Beach 37-2 when they lead after 7. Daytona has not lost when they lead after 8 innings. Ricky does still have a pretty full bullpen for the rest of the week, depending on how he decides to use it. The 1-2. It is way inside. It goes off King's glove and to the backstop. A huge turnaround third for Heath, but he will stay there as Gaitan comes in to cover the plate, but now a run just 90 feet away for the Cardinals. Gaitan lost control of a fastball that ended up way up and inside, ended up going all the way to the backstop. King really couldn't do anything to keep it in front, and King did just go visit Gaitan. Potentially the two of them crossed up. Palm Beach has gone back and forth throughout this ball game. They have really stayed in it. They have taken 5 of the first 7 from the Tortugas this year. The 2-2 is outside, and the count runs full on Alex Burge. Burge hitting a .174 on the season. 4 homers, 4 doubles. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Was hit by a pitch and scored last inning. A big lead at third base for Heath. The 3-2 is corked. Way gone, but way foul. Off the building in right field. 354 feet off the bat of Alex Burge, but it's a long foul ball, and the at-bat will continue. The count still full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The infield to pull on the left-handed bat. Gaitan sets at the belt. The payoff is grounded on a high chopping ball over towards Valencia at second. He throws it from the cut of the grass, and it's in time to first base for the out. Heath does come in to score from third, and there's now 2 outs. It's an RBI ground out for Alex Burge, and Gaitan just 1 out away of getting out of the 8th. But the Tortugas' lead has now been cut to just 2 runs. That was a very nice defensive play by Antoine Valencia. Had to go out into shallow right. First pitch from Gaitan to Trevor Haskins, a touch low. We'll see what Ricky decides to do in a potential save situation if he might want to turn to Jordan Little. He already used Andrew Schaffner last night. 2 outs, nobody on. The 1-0. Off the hands, a foul ball off the top of the Palm Beach dugout. Jordan Little has really been the only other high-leverage arm that Ricky has entirely trusted over the last 2 weeks. Lesnurk and Lantigua in there as well. The 1-1 from Gaitan is dotted on the outside corner with a heater and a called strike. The only other Tortugas that have a save are Villani and Archie. Archie threw last night. He's not available. The 1-2 is fouled back. A big grunt from Gaitan, reaching back for a little extra. That was 93 at the top of the zone, just a little bit up. Haskins was protecting against that high strike. Still a little bit of lightning in the distance. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Gaitan climbs the ladder and gets the strikeout. He is able to minimize the damage here in the 8th inning and limit. First, Daytona does have a chance to add some insurance here in the home 8th. Dylan King will lead off the inning against Zeke Wood. Wood took over last inning, and now we have a quick timeout. We're going to have a violation charged to somebody. Oh, the Tortugas don't have a first base coach. Henry Hunter is going to run out there, and so that's going to be a pitch clock violation on the Daytona bench. So the count will start 0-1 on Dylan King. The infield is shifted to Pole. Wood is back out on the hill. The first pitch to King is a called strike, and after one pitch, the count is 0-2. That's how much those violations can come into play. King is 2 for 3 tonight, swinging it very well. The Tortugas leading 9-7. Wood sets the 0-2. Is lined out towards shallow left, dying quickly, and it drops in the gap for a base hit. King is going to hustle towards second. The throw is cut off. King slides in safely with a leadoff double. It's a career-high 3-hit night for Dylan King. King lines one to the backside of the field out in the left center gap. Miura cut it off in the gap and fired it into second, but De Los Santos cut off a good throw. And now Antoine Valencia is going to bat in the leadoff spot. He took over defensively in the top of the frame for Bernard Moon. Valencia squares to bunt. He pulls back and takes a called strike. This the first game back in the lineup for Antoine Valencia after about a 3-week stretch in the Arizona Complex League, but happy to have him back here in Daytona. Wood sets the pitch to Valencia. He squares to bunt, pulls back, takes a ball, throw back to second by the catcher Burge, but King was not pushing it, and he was back very easily. During his stint in Daytona at the beginning of the year, Valencia played in 40 games and hit a .178. Wood sets above the belt. Valencia squares early. The pitch on the way. Valencia pulls back and takes a called strike. Antoine disagreed, but he is unable to get the bunt down, and the count is now 1-2. Valencia played in 11 games in the Complex League after being sent back there. Wood sets the 1-2. Is inside, a very close take, but a good one for Antoine Valencia. And the count now even at 2-2. Bernard Moon went 3 for 3 tonight with a double, a hit by pitch, and a run scored. Nobody out, a runner at second base. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Valencia off balance on a nice slider down in the dirt. He is down on strikes, and there's one out now for Zeke Wood. And so now Jalen Hairston will bat. From the left side, his last time up, he ambushed the first pitch for a 3-run homer. The first offering from Wood is a called strike. That was against Caden Eschman, who was then pulled a couple batters later after suffering an injury. King already with a stolen base tonight. He could score on a single. Why not? A look out to second, the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Hairston chases a really nice curveball from Wood down in the dirt, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Hairston is 1 for 4 tonight with that homer. It was his 3rd of the year. Now has 10 extra base hits, rather 9 of them. 15 runs batted in for the left-handed bat out of the State College of Florida. The infield to pull. The 0-2. Fouled high in the air, way out of play off the first base side. Hairston got under it and lifted it foul. Jalen with those great baby blue cleats on tonight took some inspiration from Tyson Lewis, who had the same New Balance model. All baby blue accents. Daytona looking to go 2-0 against Palm Beach to start this series. Wood gets the sign and sets. A look out to second, the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Hairston chases on an 87-mile-an-hour fastball, just a touch off the plate. Back-to-back strikeouts for Zeke Wood, and there's now 2 away. Wood still has to be careful, now facing the big bats. In the middle of the lineup, Lantigua and Doucette due up next. Lantigua is 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored tonight. Wood sets and delivers. Lantigua swinging away. He bounces one foul down the third base line. Daytona trying to add an insurance run. Nobody is throwing in the bullpen, so it will be Abraham Gaitan trying to lock down the save. It'll be against the top of the lineup. Palm Beach will send 1, 2, 3 to the plate. The 0-1 is inside. Lantigua backs out of the way. Arnaldo now hitting 244 across 50 games this year. Hitting right around 300 since the second half of the season began, leading the league in doubles during that time span. The 1-1. Misses just low. Fastball at 93 from Zeke Wood. Lantigua did punch out his last trip to the plate. Wood checks the runner. The 2-1 is fouled in the batter's box off the back foot of Lantigua. And the count now 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner at second, a 2-run lead for the Tortugas. 9 runs on 11 hits, no errors for Daytona. 7 runs on 8 hits and an error for Palm Beach tonight. The outfield very deep on the power bat of Lantigua. He has homered in back-to-back games. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Zeke Wood strikes out the side after giving up a leadoff double, and Dylan King is left stranded out at second base. Both were last season in the Arizona Complex League. He will face De Los Santos, Smith, and Mitchell, the top third of the lineup for the Cardinals. The first pitch is lined through the left side and out into left for a base hit. Davies will get it in quickly. A big turnaround first for De Los Santos. And the tying run will now come to the plate in the 9th inning for the Cardinals. A leadoff single for Sebastian De Los Santos. Gaitan came on with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. He gave up a run last inning. Daytona with a 2-run cushion, and Braden Smith is now the batter. He has 7 home runs this season. The first pitch from Gaitan is a touch upstairs. Smith was hit by a pitch in the 7th. He tripled in the 5th, had a sac fly in the 3rd, reached on a fielder's choice, stole a base, and scored a run in the first inning. The 1-0 is high and outside. Nobody throwing in the Tortugas bullpen. Ricky could potentially go to Jordan Little if he is faced with a tight spot. Valencia has taken over at second. The 2-0. A swing and a miss. The bottom hand comes off the bat for Smith. And the count now 2-1. Gaitan is 0 for 1 in save situations this season. The Tortugas with 12 as a team. The 2-1 is lifted high in the air out towards left field. Davies in front of the warning track. He's under it, and he makes the catch. Davies with a strong throw into second. De Los Santos remains at first base. And Palm Beach now down to their final 2 outs. The Cardinals have won 5 of 7 against Daytona this season, but the Tortugas took the series opener last night. It added to their back-to-back wins to end the Bradenton series. The Tortugas have won 3 in a row. Ryan Mitchell batting from the left side. The first pitch from Gaitan is a called strike with the breaking ball. Gaitan at 36 pitches. Trying to finish this ball game up and give Daytona back-to-back wins. The 0-1, a swing and a miss. Mitchell with a huge hack on a high heater, and it's 0-2. De Los Santos has great speed over at first, but that run does not matter. It is the one at the plate that does. The 0-2 is outside. Mitchell looked like he wanted to go after it. It was a good 0-2 from Gaitan. About 2 balls off the plate with a changeup. That right on left change. Gaitan sets at the belt. The stretch in the 1-2 is grounded softly over towards second. Valencia with a diving stop keeps it in front. The throw to first is not in time. Mitchell runs it out, and the tying run is aboard in the 9th inning for the Cardinals. That ball was rolled slowly in between Doucette and Valencia on the right side of the infield. Valencia made a nice diving stop to keep it in the infield and in front. Likely saved an extra base. De Los Santos would have been able to go first to third. But instead, the double play is still in order. But the tying run now at first base, the go-ahead run at home plate in the form of Yordaline Pena. The first pitch from Gaitan is off the end of the bat. It spins foul down the first base line. Pena already with 1 home run tonight. It was back in the 4th inning. He has 12 on the season. A look out to second. The 0-1 is fouled straight back. Gaitan in the driver's seat. No balls and 2 strikes on one of the Florida State League's best, Yordaline Pena. The highest leverage spot of the season for the Tortugas. The most important game to this point of the year. The 0-2. Popped up foul. Back behind home plate. King now giving chase, but it bounces off the roof of our old sturdy press box up behind home plate. The winner of tonight's ball game will be in first place in the Florida State League East. De Los Santos with great speed at second. Mitchell, very good speed at first base as well. The 0-2 is slowly rolled, but it gets through the infield and out into center for a base hit. De Los Santos will come in to score from second. The throw goes behind the runner at second. It gets away from Boutin. Valencia was backing it up, and now the tying run is in scoring position for the Cardinals. It's their 3rd base hit of the inning, and Palm Beach trails by just 1. An RBI single for Yordaline Pena, his 2nd hit of the ballgame. Still nobody throwing in the Tortugas bullpen, despite Gaitan being at 43 pitches. It's runners on first and second. Matthew Miura is the batter. Gaitan ready to go. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Nice slider at the top of the zone. The tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first base for the Cardinals. It is 9-8 Tortugas in the top of the 9th inning. Gaitan sets a quick move out to second. Valencia slaps a tag on Mitchell, but he's able to dive back safely. A ground ball double play would end the ball game. Valencia's got great hands out at second. Gaitan sets the 0-1. It misses. King can't believe it, but it was just a touch outside. A very well-executed changeup from Gaitan, but a good call from Jacob Gorman. Already 3 hits in the inning for Palm Beach. Both teams with 11 base hits tonight. The 1-1 is fouled back. Miura, swinging out of his shoes, was just able to barely get a piece of it and hit it back into the screen. Gaitan looking for a strikeout or a ground ball with 1 out in the 9th inning and a 1-run lead. Gaitan gets the sign and sets. The stretch in the 1-2 is grounded right side. Doucette gloves it. There's nobody at second. Underhand toss to Gaitan. He is safe at first base. Miura runs it out. Nobody was covering second. Doucette wanted to throw it there. He had to go backhanded, and the bases are loaded for the Cardinals. Mitchell into third, Pena to second, and Miura now at first base. And now Jason Imicus going to call time and bring the infield in on the pitcher's mound. That was a weird play. Mitchell and Pena looked like they were about to double steal, that it just became a really tough play. So the tying run now 90 feet away for the Cardinals, and Daytona is going to bring the infield in. left-handed hitter in Jonathan Mejia. The first pitch from Gaitan, it misses just high and outside. Mejia 2 for 4 with a homer tonight. He has 10 homers now on the season. Gaitan gets the sign and sets at the belt. The stretch in the 1-0 is inside. Mejia backs away. The bag's packed for the Cardinals. The infield in with 1 out for the Tortugas. Daytona with just a 1-run lead here in the top of the 9th inning. Slightly to pull is Boutin. Here's the 2-0. It's a called strike at the knees. Mejia can't believe it. It was about half a ball down, but Gaitan was able to get a generous call from Jacob Gorman. So the count now 2 balls and a strike. The game on the line here in the 9th inning. Gaitan rocks and deals. A swing and a fly ball out towards right field. It sends Lantigua back. He is under it, and he makes the catch, but the run is going to come in to score, and the Cardinals tie the ball game here in the 9th inning. A sacrifice fly for Jonathan Mejia. Plates Ryan Mitchell from third, and we are tied at 9-9. The go-ahead run, Yordeline Pena was able to move up from second to third on the play. Gaitan now trying to leave this game tied. The first offering to Chase Heath is a called strike. And now Jordan Little has gotten up in the bullpen. Gaitan has thrown 52 pitches. I don't know why Ricky wouldn't go to him for the 9th. Here's the pitch from Gaitan. It's a little bit high and outside. Little has been Ricky Gutierrez's high leverage option over the last 2 weeks in tandem with Andrew Schaffner, but he wanted to let Gaitan go. The 1-1 is skied. Very shallow center field. Valencia going back. He is under it in shallow center. Valencia makes the catch, and the side is retired. The Cardinals able to plate 2 runs here in the top of the 9th inning. It is now 9-9, and Ty Doucette is going to lead off the bottom of the 9th inning for the Tortugas. Doucette has homered in back-to-back games already. Heard him talk about his breathing and slowing down in the pregame show today. The first pitch to Doucette is a touch high. Doucette had lost his hand guard right before the pitch was thrown. Now he picks it up and is going to put it on. Zeke Wood is back out on the mound for Palm Beach. Doucette could win it. The 1-0 is low and outside. Wood clearly being a little bit careful against the power bat of Ty Doucette. Daytona has 5 walk-off wins this season, looking for their 6th. Wood sets. The 2-0 is a check swing, appeal to first, and Doucette goes around, says Gabriel Bayon. The last walk-off for Daytona was back on June 10th on a wild pitch. It was Yacol Soriano that scored that time. The count 2-1 on Doucette. 7 homers this year. The pitch from Wood. Swing and a miss. Doucette just a touch late on a high heater. It was a 99-mile-an-hour fastball that Doucette turned around 112 the other way for a homer last night. The 2-2 is lifted deep out to center field. Mitchell going back at the warning track, and it one-hops off the base of the fence. Doucette is going to motor into second with a leadoff double. The reigning Florida State Player of the Week doing Player of the Week things. Ty Doucette in the winning run, now aboard in scoring position for the Tortugas. His first base hit of the night in the biggest spot of the ballgame. Let's see if Ricky wants to run for Doucette. He does have some faster options on the bench, but Doesn't look like anyone is going to come off. Now this is a pretty obvious bunt spot for Kyle Henley. Wood sets, checks the runner. Henley squares to bunt. The pitch goes straight to the backstop, and Doucette will take third base. The winning run 90 feet away for the Tortugas with with no outs here in the bottom of the ninth. The fans on their feet for Kyle Henley. Henley already with 2 hits tonight. A chance to walk it off for the Tortugas. The infield will have to come in and try and cut down the run at the plate. The outfield will be shallow. The count 1-0. And Alex Burge is going to call time to head out and talk to Zeke Wood. Kyle Henley has been a part of a walk-off this season. He scored on a wild pitch to walk off the Tampa Tarpons on the 30th of May in a 1-0 win for Daytona. Doucette does not have to be too aggressive at third base, considering there are no outs. Davies in the on-deck circle. Cano would be the third batter due up. Ricky does have Rafael Torres, Henry Hunter, and Ian Francis available off the bench. Ty Doucette is the winning run at third base with nobody out. Burge back behind the plate. Wood gets the sign. The 1-0. Grounded foul down the third base line. Henley a little bit out in front on an 87-mile-an-hour breaking ball from Zeke Wood. The Tortugas looking for their 4th straight victory. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Henley a little bit late on 93 at the top of the zone. Wood stuff gets on you a little bit. You got to be ready for the heater. Doucette doubled to lead off the inning. He moved to third on a wild pitch. The count 1-2. Nobody out. Bottom 9. 9-9 the score. The 1-2 to Henley. Swing and a miss. A huge strikeout for Zeke Wood, and there's 1 out in the 9th. 5th punch out for Zeke Wood. It is the 16th against the Tortugas tonight. Daytona with 9 runs on 12 hits. Drew Davies has 1 of them. He's 1 for 4 and will now bat from the left side. The infield is still in for Palm Beach. Wood rocks and deals. Davies takes for a ball a bit high with a heater at 94. The fans on their feet here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Davies trying to send him home happy. Woods 1-0. Swing and a miss. Davies chases a breaking ball in the dirt. The Tortugas dugout up on the top step. A chance to walk it off. The 1-1 is fouled back into the backstop behind home plate. And Wood now in the driver's seat, 1-2. A strikeout here would prove to be massive for him. It would give the defense a little bit of freedom. Ichiro Cano is in the on-deck circle for Daytona. 1 out, a runner at third. The count 1-2. The pitch to Davies is outside. Alex Burge can't believe it. He thought that it was going to be strike 3. It did just barely touch the zone, but a really, really tough call for Jacob Gorman. The count 2-2. The winning run in Ty Doucette at third base for the Tortugas. And a ball is on the field. They just called time mid-windup. Zeke Wood did not throw the pitch. A ball came out of the Palm Beach bullpen. The Daytona bullpen continuing to warm. Jordan Little is throwing. Zeke Wood has thrown 35 pitches. He has 5 strikeouts. Davies awaits. The 2-2 is ripped through the left side. It's a walk-off winner. Doucette scores from third. and the Daytona Tortugas are in first place. Drew Davies, the hero, with a walk-off single.